Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Franklin from the Money Code Academy, and on today's video I want to share with you 10 mistakes to avoid in business. You see, years ago I made lots and lots of mistakes in business, and it cost me a fortune. I just kept on pumping money into these businesses, and in the long run nothing was coming out of it because I kept on making these little mistakes that accumulated into something big. Now, I believe that there are lots of people out there who are in the same place I found myself years ago. And this video will go a very long way to help you to minimize some of those mistakes and set you on track. Now, if today is your first time of watching, I would like you to hit the subscribe button and smash that bell button so that the next time I post a new video, you will be the first to receive it. On this channel, what I talk about most is on personal finance, financial freedom, and business. So I would like you to do the needful, and don't forget to stay true to this video, because the things that I want to share with you, it will go a very long way to change your life. Now, the first mistake that I wrote down here is starting a business without understanding the trade. Now, this is so important. I've seen a lot of people who have the money, they have this idea of business, but they don't understand the trade. Hear me. Having the money, it's not a problem. Having the idea is not a problem. Even having a zeal to do business, it's not a problem at all. The main problem is understanding the trade. If you don't understand the trade, you're going to end up wasting your time. You're going to end up wasting your money, and you could even get to a point of discouragement where you will not want to do business again. So I would like to encourage you, whatever business that you are starting, make sure that you understand the trade, no matter how little the business is. Let's take, for example, you want to start an online business. Understand the trade, understand the workflow, understand the several processes that are involved, understand the things that is making other people to succeed in that particular business. You get the point now. So that's something that you need to work on. See, even if it takes you maybe, let's say, 3 months to learn this particular business, do that, because it will go a long way to help you. You get the point now. So the second point that I wrote down here is not giving time and attention to your business. This is one terrible mistake that I made. I set up a business and I was hardly going there because I had some other things that I was doing. So I wasn't going there. I just kept people there who I felt they were managing the place for me. And they did well. They did everything they could just to make the business work. But the truth of the matter is, there is nothing as good as you who is the visioneer. You who carries the vision. You who started the business. You who is spending the money. There is nothing as good as you giving that business a certain attention that it requires. Now, the significance of this is that when you begin to give that business attention, see, you have just opened yourself to know more about the business, to know the areas where the business is experiencing a downside. You have exposed yourself to getting to know the tricks, the secrets, the things that works in that business. And then giving time and attention would also help you to come up with a certain innovation or creativity that will enhance this particular business. So that's something that you must learn. Give time, give attention to every detail in the business, to the sales process. Now, I know that you may be busy, you may not have the time to do all these, but from time to time, give it that attention. Don't just invest into a particular business and hand it over to somebody and say, please go and manage it. And then the person does not really understand this particular business. You don't really understand that particular business. And so the two of you are just two people who are trying to make this thing work, but the business will not work that way because you don't have the necessary knowledge and experience to make it work. Every business that you see that is working today, someone is behind that particular business, making adjustments here and there based on the things that they are noticing about the business. So that's something that you've got to work on. Give attention, give your time to it. Amazingly, when you begin to give your time to your business, your staff will also go a long way to buckle up. The third point that I wrote down here is investing so much in non-profit ventures. Let me give you an example of what happened with me some years ago. I started this editing company, and what we do, because I write books, and because of that, I started to provide these editorial services where we proofread your book, we do ghostwriting, we do a lot of those things. So when I started that particular business, I was so excited, So it's actually funny, because when I think about it now, I begin to wonder how was I able to make that mistake? But guess what? It was good I made those mistakes, because it taught me a huge lesson. I got an office, painted the office, spent a lot of money in the interiors, trying to put fixture. I invested so much in the infrastructure, invested so much. It was a very wonderful office, and I employed a staff there, put all the necessary office accessories, the chairs, the PCs, and everything. Everything was on point. Guess what? I did not address or establish a way in which I'll be making profit. The only thing I was just doing was pumping money into things that was not going to bring me any form of profit. And this is the same thing that happens with so many people today. Years later, I bought a particular franchise from a particular company, and when I did that, we ended up spending so much money. So much money was spent on just putting in fixtures, branding that particular company, which is not really a bad idea. But the truth of the whole issue is that we ended up spending so much money on the infrastructure. Meanwhile, those infrastructure was not going to bring any profit. In the same way, in your business, don't bother so much about trying to, pimp the place, trying to make the place very, very cool and cozy. That's not the main thing. The main thing is investing in anything that will help to bring in profit. Because see, in the long run, if you have invested in all those chairs and everything, if that business is not generating any profit, those things that you have invested in will become a waste in the long run. Because if the business is not able to even pay its rent, one day you're going to close that particular business. When I discovered this in my first business, I started channeling my strength, channeling my effort into making sure that I invest in things that was going to generate money for me. So that's something that you need to work on. Don't invest so much in non-profit ventures. Am I saying that branding is bad? Of course no. Am I saying that investing in furnitures and those things, am I saying they are bad? Of course no. But the thing is, you can work on it in such a way that you don't spend so much money on it. Instead of you spending maybe $10,000, you can look for something that maybe $3,000 or $5,000 can buy, and just put it there for the now, just to watch how the business is going to do and how the business will generate money. When the business has started generating money, when you have established that particular income flow, then you can go ahead and spend even $20,000 on infrastructure. It's fine. You get the point now. So that's something that you need to work on. Now, the next point here is not establishing a proper income flow. Like I told you, when I started that particular business, I had not fixed the way I was going to be getting customers. I had not fixed the way I was going to be making profits. And that thing went a long way to affect me. Now, many years down the line, I saw a particular young man. I met a particular young man who was working in this software company where they were making softwares, they were making websites for people and all that. But the company began to face a lot of financial difficulties. The owner of the company didn't even know what to do. He had the money, he had the zeal to run a company, but he had not established an income flow. Now, this is one mistake that I made that mistake. This guy made this particular mistake. So the first major thing in any business is to establish a proper income flow. That should be the first thing that you would think about. That should be your initial efforts. You get the point now? Because until and unless you establish a proper income flow, you will not be able to sustain that particular business. Because there are staffs to be paid. You have rent to be paid. You have the light bill. There are lots of other office expenses that goes into that helps to keep a company running. All these expenses, they are real, especially for people who have this traditional business, or rather an offline business where they have an office and all that. So you must establish an income. Don't make that mistake. Don't just rush into any business because the business is a good idea. It's not about the business being a good idea. You must establish how you're going to be making money on a daily basis or on a weekly basis. You must establish it if you want to succeed in business. If you are listening to me right now and you don't know anything in this area, or you have not established that particular thing, I would like you to go and do so. Establish an income flow, a proper income flow. If you are selling books or you are selling ebooks, you've got to work on it. Try to understand ways in which you'll be able to sell the book and receive returns. Those calculations are something that you need to establish. And this is where marketing comes into play. This is where promotion comes into play. You have to establish this area. Because like I said, if that business is not making any profit, forget it. It will shut down. It's just a matter of time because there is no proper income flow. So the next point that I wrote down here is having too many liabilities. Now that's something that you need to avoid if you want your business to succeed. On a more serious note, if you truly want your business to succeed, you must avoid too many liabilities. Otherwise, all your profits will be going into these liabilities. And this is what happens a lot of times when people take loan to start a business, especially loans with high interest rate. Because you end up using your profits to pay back these loans. To an extent, it's not really a bad idea. If you're taking loan to start a business, in a way, that is a good debt because you're using that loan amount to generate income. But you see, if you have too many liabilities, whereby you're making $10,000 as profit, and the whole $10,000 is going into, that profit is going into all expenses. At the end of the day, you will be like a man who has made no profit. You've got to understand that one of the things that makes business to succeed, one of the things that makes business to keep evolving into something better is the profit that you are making. Profits are the things that sustains business. If you're getting profits and you're spending everything on liabilities, then you are in trouble. So this is something that you have to work on. You've got to tell yourself that I want to reduce my liabilities. Go through the financial record. Get to understand the expenses. Get to understand the profits. Reduce the expenses. Reduce it to the barest minimum. And this is one of the reasons you discover that companies, they keep laying off staffs. The reason they are laying off staffs is not because they are wicked. It's not because they just want to lay off staffs. The reason they are laying off staffs is because of this thing that I'm pointing out. They are trying to cut down on their expenses, because the lesser expenses that they have, the more profits that they will have. So you've got to avoid too many liabilities. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have a liability. You cannot avoid it. Liabilities are part of business because you need to have these liabilities for your business to run, but don't let it be too much. You've got to work on that. The next point that I wrote here, the next mistake that needs to be avoided in business is to avoid non-creativity. I discovered that any business that is going to succeed, there must be an element of creativity to it. No matter what you are selling, no matter the services that you are rendering, you must be able to bring out some level of creativity in your marketing, in your promotion, in your products. You see that now. If you take a look at most of the big companies out there like KFC, McDonald's, you see them, they keep bringing out new things. Most of the time, it may not necessarily be something really, really new. It's just something that they added to whatever it is that they've always had. So they keep spicing up their products and services with new levels of creativity. So that's something that you need to sit down and work on. Whatever business that you are running right now, you've got to understand that creativity is of utmost importance. You need creativity for you to make enough sales. You need creativity for you to make your product to be appealing in the eyes of your customers. Imagine Apple was not creative. Imagine they had stayed with their first iPhone product. Do you know what would have happened? By now they would have closed. The only thing that is keeping them going is because they keep evolving. They keep coming up with new things, both in their MacBook and their phone. They keep coming up with new things. That is the same thing that you need to maintain if you want to remain relevant. The truth is, creativity helps you or helps your business to remain relevant to your customers. So that's something you need to work on. It will go a long way to help you. The next point that I wrote down here is not keeping books of account. I've seen cases where people are just running their business, but they are not keeping any records. No record is being kept. No books of account is being kept. This is something that you need to work on. You should be able to keep records. You should be able to keep books of account. You should know how much is coming in. You should know how much is going out at the end of every month. Otherwise, you will just be in business and you don't know what is happening. You don't even know whether you are making losses. You don't know whether you are making profit. It is books of accounts that helps you to determine if you are making profit and how much profit you are making in the long run. The next point that I wrote down here is employing non-experienced staff. Now, if there is one lesson that I've learned when it comes to staffing is not employing non-experienced staff. There is a reason why companies, they keep saying that, oh, I need an experienced staff. The reason is because someone who has done a particular job before somewhere else will be able to bring that experience into your company and help you to make profit. Very, very, very important. This thing I'm sharing with you, it's so important. When you have a staff that is not experienced, you are in trouble. A very big trouble at that. So don't invest on staffs that are not experienced, and don't attach any form of sentiment to this. Now, am I against you employing staffs? Of course, no. That is not the point I'm trying to communicate here. I'm just saying, be careful with this. If you must employ a staff that is not experienced, then you should already have a team, or you should already have someone whom you have kept aside to give this person the necessary trainings for them to fit into that position, or for them to fit into the requirements of your company. This is something that if you abide to it, to go a long way to help you. So if you must employ a non-experienced staff, then you must be willing to invest time, invest resources into that particular staff. Now, the next point that I wrote here is poor marketing strategy. You need to have a good marketing strategy for you to win. So avoid this mistake. And I want to quickly say this: if you are into any form of business and you have not embraced the social media marketing strategy, I would like you to do that, because the traditional marketing is getting obsolete. Again and again, that type of marketing is phasing out. What is on board now is social media marketing. This is one of the reasons you also must invest into these things. Get to learn, get to know what is out there, get to know what companies are using now to run their business. Because see, if you don't know much, then you will also employ a staff who don't know much. If you don't know much, your marketing unit will definitely suffer. Is a simple thing. So avoid poor marketing strategy. The next point that I wrote here, which is the last point, is the lack of focus. Any business that will succeed, you must apply focus to that business, else that business will not succeed. Focus is a major ingredient for business success. So I want to encourage you in that direction. Make a conscious decision that you will listen to this video again and again, because the things that I've shared here, it will go a long way to help your business. Refuse to allow any of these things to take place in your business. Maintain that level of focus. You tell yourself, I want to focus. A lot of times when people start a business, when they see someone else who is thriving in their own business, they say, oh, I think this business I'm into is not doing well. Let me go to that other person's business. And so they go to that other person's business, and then, they try to look here and look here. No, maintain some level of focus in your business, because it will go a long way to help you. Now that's all for today's video. I believe that you have learned something. If there is anything that has resonated with you, drop me a comment in the comment section. I would like to see those comments. I would like to interact with you. And don't forget to like this video and share with family members and friends who are into business, and just share it with them. And I believe that there are one or two things that they will learn from these videos. Now, I hope to speak to you again in the next video. Until then, keep cracking the money code. And if you have not subscribed to this channel, make sure you subscribe. Click the like button also, and don't forget to smash the bell button, so that when the next time I post a new video, you'll be the first to receive that video. God bless you.